today we would like to invite you to the journey into the cloud, and me and Krzysztof are going to tell you the story about how to make the scalable micro services architecture into the cloud. So let's start with this journey.
Yep.
Okay, so at the beginning we would like to show you some figures, important figures about what is happening right now. Based on the Gartner research, we could bring you these figures that they predict that in 2021 almost 30% of the new investments they were based in the cloud solution, but they also predict that in the 2025 it's be around the 95%. And so the cloud native solutions are on the very rapid curve right now. So it's the trends, you cannot stop it. It's happening right now. So what do you think, Krzysztof, about it?
What do I think about it? I'm thinking, it's like 95% in 2025. I don't know if it's going to happen, especially in Poland, but my guess is it would be not just 95% of the system to be running in the cloud. It's most likely it's going to be 95% of the new ideas, new systems will be combined with the cloud capabilities. It's going to be like hybrid, one way or the other, combination of the system between like your on-prem and some part of the cloud. Just to name the services, it's going to be, I don't know, it's like reaching for AI, reaching for data storage, reaching for, I don't know, some kind of protection from the attacks, etc., etc. And I think it's most likely it's going to be 80% of the systems will eventually land in the cloud one way or the other, and 20% of them will stay in the on-prem. I'm pretty sure. I believe in that. I come from the on-prem. I used to work with like with the hardware and the on-prem and everything. So I think that's my guess.
We also notice it that some of our customers, they already decide to move their new investment into the cloud. So I agree with you. Maybe there is not the 95%, but this figure is.
I'm saying just like 95% of those systems will be touched by cloud one way or the other. It's basically like that.
Okay, so in reference to the previous figures, we would like to show you another one, which is also very important. That also, based on the Gartner research, we could tell that almost 80% of data centers on premise are going to be moved to the cloud, and it's happening. So as I mentioned you before, that the cloud native solutions are on this very rapid curve, and so it's happening. It's happening right now. So we could agree that our solution, we also try to predict what is happening right now and to invest in the new technologies. So yeah.
So 80%, that's actually, I kind of like that number because it's basically a Pareto. So you can't be wrong on that. The thing is, when it comes to it's like vacating data centers or it's like improving your data centers and everything. So the situation is, I came across Poland from Warsaw, where I live, to Krakow here by train, and it does not mean that I need to lay down the whole tracks and build myself a complete train. I'm just buying a ticket for it, So sometimes it's cheaper. Otherwise, it's like it's not wise to take a taxi when you're going for the vacation in Italy with your family for the whole 2 weeks or for the whole 1 week. So I'm saying that you need to think of it that it will happen eventually. So I have talks with the customers, and they saying it's like we've switched from on-prem to the cloud, and it's marvelous and it's fantastic. So it's like we can start up a new Kubernetes cluster in the nick of time. So it's like we are not afraid of the situation that we run out of the resources, or we don't have the problem of like having like running the same type of infrastructure in a regular way. So I'm saying that 80% of the enterprises will think, or they will extend their data centers with the cloud capabilities in the next future. And it's actually happening, and it's actually happening right now. I have one bank customer here in Poland that actually uses the cloud a lot. And the traffic looks like it's like you go into the bank, you go into their internal on-prem system, then you go into the cloud, and then you're going back to the on-prem system, and then you're going back to the customer. Anyways, the thing is, this you can, as a customer, you cannot see it. So it's like all the systems are running, and they're really happy about it.
ESG stands for environmental, social, and governance. I am also the part of that. I came here today by the public transport, so I'm also aware about this ESG. ESG is some kind of the framework which assessing the company's impact on sustainability and let's say the business.
Yep.
How they operate. EU they issue the directives. It's CSRD, something like this. But
I just read the book about it by Bill Gates, and he was like losing lots of acronyms. So
I'm also sometimes lost in this action. But anyway, it's very important, very crucial for all of us, and every company is obligated to issue annual reports about the ESG. So it's and how about the Google? Are you
Google
aware
Cloud.
or not? Just don't care.
We are kind of aware of it. We take that into the account a lot. So the thing is about the ESG and the lowering CO2 emissions is basically some of our data centers are actually low carbon right now, and we're going to be carbon neutral, I think, in 2030, as far as I'm concerned. One thing that actually struck me and was kind of a type of a revolutions is actually Google owns its own set of windmills that actually generates power. So we are basically generating power for our own data centers, and yet when there is when there's too excessive power, it's like there's a surplus of the power actually for the whole day for running of our data centers. Basically, we can sell them. We can sell the electricity on the market. Basically, there is a company behind that actually uses lots of ML and artificial intelligence to predict what's the outcome from the windmills, and they're selling it on the market. The long story short is, if you use the low CO2 data center, and they are marked with a green leaf when you're like going into our console, it's basically actually you can lower down your CO2 footprint. So it's easy as that. Basically, you need to pick the right location. Unfortunately, Warsaw is not low CO2 now, but I think it will be.
But basically, the cloud technology could support companies to meet the goals according to ESG.
Yep.
How we prepare us for this jump, okay? So do not afraid of it, that's for sure. And now let's go and tell you about this, let's say the migration, this transformation, what is
ideas, maybe.
Ideas, yeah. So we noticed that we could divide this transition into the 3 stages. First is just let's say the basic one, the on-premise, and then a lot of companies decide to do just the lift and shift. So it gives you just the small, a little bit, the small savings, cost savings, because this is just the let's say, the copy and paste your infrastructure into the cloud.
With just one remark here, with just one remark, when we're running on the on-premises and when we're running this, like all our VMs and all this stuff. So basically, we tend to keeping the lights open at all time. So it means that we are not shutting down unnecessary resources, we are not shutting down unnecessary VMs, etc. So basically, sometimes it might be a recipe for a good bill at the end of the month in the cloud. So I'm always saying to the customers, let's think, it's like while we're doing the lift and shift, because lift and shift is great when it comes to the situation that you're like running out of the hardware because it's getting old, when you're running out of the software licenses, when you need to renew them, or when you're running out of the storage space. I mean, it's like data center space. I have to vacant this the space or do whatsoever. And at that time, we are talking to our customers about just like moving, just like their VMs into the cloud, but just like do it in a intelligent way. For example, exchange some services that they are served as a software as a service from the cloud. I don't know, like file services, I don't know, storage services, object storage services, that kind of a thing. And lift and shift is great, but I think it's just it's the first step into the actually application modernization. That's what I'm here for. And the thing is, when you do the lift and shift, and if your infrastructure is already in the cloud, so then the next step is just like retransform it into the microservices, I don't know, software as a service, REST API calls, whatever. It's very easy to do it in the cloud, but think about it as just like actually to run your application in a scale that Google does is actually going into the microservices, Kubernetes, and all this yada yada.
And do not forget to go further, because without this application modernization, many companies, they are disappointed on this cost savings. The final stage is the most important, so do not afraid, everyone.
Yeah, and the other thing is, I think Woody Allen said it once, so sex is like a bridge. Either you have to have a great hand or a great partner. So when it comes to, it's like moving into the cloud, it's also, you need to have either your own skills, so good hand, or it's like a good partner actually to take care of you and help you, it's like in going through the first obstacles of using of the cloud. So that's very important. We have some customers that actually went into the other cloud and went back, not because of the fact of the costs, but because of the fact that they said, we like the cloud, but we didn't have enough support from either partner or, it's like from the vendor. So that's why we come to you. And we say, it's like, we have great partners. We just like, we talk about it. We are always here for you. We can talk through it and everything. And they said, yeah, we can do with it. We can do, it's like this application modernization with you.
Yep. So this is just a simple example of how you can save the money based on this migration in the middleware layer. For instance, you can move your Oracle into the cloud. So this is one of the example. You can use your managed services like the Cloud SQL or whatever. But
actually, we have one thing recently. Sorry for that. So when you're moving the database from one place to another, you need to have somebody that helps you. So for example, we are inventing the AI type of helper that helps you to transform the PLSQL queries or code actually into the Postgres, for example. It's like it's going to be, it's like the transition is going to be more smoothly.
So migration to the cloud, less costs, no fees for licenses, better scalability, and so on. So let's move forward. So this is the crucial the slide. It shows you the difference between the monolith versus microservice approach. So from my perspective, if you keep your present solution based on monolith, it's not so easy to develop, to scale, to if you do some changes, minor changes, then you have to check entire solution again and again, and so this release time is slow, development is slower. So new approach for the system design is to make them agile, to make them more flexible. So the microservices architecture brings you all this together. And so and then when you base your solution into cloud, so it also gives you a bunch of possibilities.
Yeah, I used to work with the infrastructure, and as I told you, it's like plus 20 years of the experience. I used to work with mainframes, with risks, with Power VM, with Solaris, and all this stuff. Don't get me wrong, I love the machines. They're just great. But the situation right now is that so x86 actually is ruling the world now. So some people they say maybe it's not, but it is. So in mass, it actually does. A way of running of the infrastructure, of a way of running the applications is right now, I think, transitioning from like running the VMs into running the containers and to running them onto the Kubernetes. We know how to run the Kubernetes. For example, we have a 10 services that run on Kubernetes that they are accessed by 1 billion, it's like Polish miliard, 1 billion users a day. So they are unique users. So basically we have that kind of a scale. So imagine you can actually tap into this technology and actually use it for your own good. So that's why that's the first thing. The second thing is if you split the development into the smaller chewable chunks, it makes, it's like you can make the development teams a little bit smaller. So we tend to see that, it's like when it comes to communication with people, when you have the team of 8+ people, actually the number of interconnects between them is so high that they do not talk to each other. So for example, you can check it if you have just like family dinner and there is more than 8 people sitting by the table. So they have to split somehow. So the conversation splits between 2 or 3 groups immediately. So the microservices and this DevOps approach, it's actually makes the smaller teams, more agile teams, more capable of doing the whole job.
As you can see, there is a lot of options, a lot of paths. First of all, okay, so sorry for that. On-premise, everyone starts from on-premise solution, and then it's most popular, especially in the banking area, to keep it as a hybrid cloud. So part of your core business still remain in on-premise, and the rest could be transferred to the cloud. But there are also some options like the multi-cloud, hybrid multi-cloud, and so on. So yep. There are a lot of possibilities. Now we are in the middle of this transformation. A lot of companies just decide to start this journey. Yeah. So this is what is happening right now. Yep.
Yeah, and it's like we have some customers that actually on this slide they're in the different places. For example, maybe you know and you hate one of them. It's Revolut. So actually they are mostly situated in the cloud. And I think they grew up because of the fact that they were in the cloud already. Our other customer, so we are very proud of it. It's not financial, but it's really big, it's really huge, and it's really successful in Poland. Is Allegro. That's one of our customers that actually relies on the cloud really much, and it helps them to achieve, the reach out to the people and like the quality of the service in a way that eBay, Amazon, and these like the really big players in this market cannot touch them. Actually, they know how to implement new stuff. They know how to be agile and be faster. It's like nowadays it's not the bigger it's smaller. I think the faster it's the slower one. And of course we also have on our Polish market we have a hybrid cloud companies. So I'm saying always, because I'm just like I come from the on-prem. I'm saying, it's like dip your foot in this water as much as you want. It's basically whether you want to, it's like just to tap into some kind of a services. I don't know, for backup, for storage. For backup storage, that's a good place to start, or for doing something else, or it's like doing some small internal systems. We have the customers. I'm working also with the health sector, that they are very regulated, and they want to just like do it in slowly. So it's like we're saying, it's like you have a great application, you can move it to the cloud, it's gonna be better. And they said, let's start slowly. Let's start with our internal tools. Let's start with the backups. Let's start with that kind of a thing. And we have all those kinds of talks about, it's like all those different scenarios here with the customers, and it's like together we come up with the solution, because the solution has to fit the customer, not me.
But always,
me, not Google.
Yeah. It's all about the money, that's for sure. So do not forget about, for instance, the FinOps. FinOps could help you a lot to cost savings. So we already do for our customers. We are happy about it. So thanks for your view. So now let's just briefly, this cloud native and the application modernization is in our DNA, that's for sure. Google, Ailleron, myself. So
yeah, I have it somewhere.
Yeah.